Mm-mm-mm. Look at that piece of pie. Yeah, just makes your mouth water, doesn't it? I've never eaten pumpkin pie in quite that fashion before, but it actually is a pretty good idea. Maybe next Thanksgiving, that's the way, or maybe at Christmas. It seems like I only eat pumpkin pie at Thanksgiving and Christmas. Maybe at Christmas, that's how I have my pie. I was kind of mistreated by my mom when I was growing up. And I've given her a hard time about it, on multiple occasions. Because whenever Thanksgiving rolled around and we had pumpkin pie to eat, she would, cut slices and all this. And then she'd put one little dinky little dab of Cool Whip in the center of the slice of pie. And I mean, just hardly anything. And I was really deprived, as a kid. And I told her that ever since I've become an adult and have a home of my own, I've been trying to make up for lost time. And so whenever I have pumpkin pie nowadays, I don't throw it into the Cool Whip container like that picture, but I at least put the Cool Whip on an inch thick over the entire piece of pie. And oh boy, it's hard to beat that. Thanksgiving and Christmas too, but especially Thanksgiving. So I hope you had some pumpkin pie here recently. Hey, got a couple things I want to share with you today. The first one, just a real quickie, Brad Fogo. Appreciate everyone that came out for prime time. We had a great turnout last week, and I know Brad was encouraged by that. But he's got 24 more days before he's not on staff anymore. Now, Brad and Pam, just a reminder, they are going to continue to make Crossroads Christian Church their church home, and Brad will continue to serve as an elder. But the things that you have become accustomed to Brad being there for and being on call for and all of this as a staff member, in 24 days, that comes to a stop. And I know habits, have been developed over the last 13 years that Brad has been on staff. And I might have to remind you in January, if I find out that, we keep calling upon him and bothering him now that he'd be in his retirement. Anyway, just a reminder, 24 days and he is off staff. But thank you all for, just really showing your love to him recently. And I know over the next 24 days, you'll be doing that as well. Okay. All right. So what I want to share with you is just a little devotional thought. And I want to start it with this question. What if you only had one life to live? What if you only had one life to live? If you only had one life to live, then it'd be really important that you make wise choices. You capitalize on time. You don't kill time. You don't do a little this, do a little that, and just kind of flounder around. But that you're more focused. Well, you know where I'm going with this. The reality of the matter is, you've only got one life to live. It's not like Bill Murray and Groundhog Day. That was a classic. That was like 20 some years ago. That movie came out. And he just kept reliving the same day over and over and over and over countless times. And so he ended up doing some really silly things because he knew the next morning he'd wake up and he'd live the day over again. And so he was being really goofy and, everything else that on a lot of the days that he lived. But you see, that is not reality. And we only have one life to live. And so in a manner of speaking, it's really easy to think, knowing that you only have one life to live, is that, man, I really need to make good use of my time. I really, if checking off my bucket list is important to me, then I really need to get to work on that. And I need to be focused on spending time doing things that make me happy, and that I know what my agenda is, and I'm not killing time. And there's a problem with that for a lot of you anyway that are listening to me. You are a Christian, and I am a Christian, and a lot has changed when we took the hand of Jesus and professed our faith in him. Let me give you one verse, and I want to encourage you to take this verse and just really reflect on it. In fact, this entire week, every morning, I encourage you, read this verse and just pray about it and just let the Lord speak to you. Maybe over your morning cup of coffee, or maybe when you're in the car on the way to work, if you're still going into work. But every morning, just take this verse and let the Lord speak to your heart. It's something Jesus said, and it's recorded in Matthew chapter 10, verse 39. He said this: "Whoever finds his life will lose it, and whoever loses his life for my sake will find it." Whoever finds his life will lose it, but whoever loses his life for my sake will find it. I read that the night that I gave my life to Christ many years ago. And it convicted me, along with the verses especially that preceded it. Let it speak to you. Let God communicate to your heart just by reflecting and praying about that. Because the thing is, as a Christian, it's not about you anymore. It's about Him. Oh, yeah, you may have your bucket list. You may have hobbies or certain interests that you enjoy. And I'm not saying that stuff is bad or wrong. I'm just saying that stuff takes a back seat now. Because the Lord in His kingdom is in the front seat. Let the Lord speak to you this week through His Word, particularly Matthew chapter 10, verse 39. Thanks for tuning in today, and have a good week.